Alrighty, we're here. Balance Patch Cup Finals between Anthony Lonergan
And
and Chase Mateo.
let's go.
Mateo.
Let's go.
We just saw Chase win on stream against an absolutely wild Solo Dozo and
Solo Dozo, baby.
Garganackle team. But that's not the point of interest. The point of interest right now is Chase's team of Pelipper, Archaladon, Basculegion, that solid Rancor, supported by Amoonguss and Incineroar, and the backbone of it all, 1,000 golden coins themselves. It's Goldengo.
Goldango raining
Sorry, I
on
think it's actually
everyone's
999 coins. My bad.
My bad. We hit the cap.
999 coins of Goldengo to support the rest of that team with more damage than it already has. Tried and true stuff. Looks good.
Tried and true. And now moving on to Anthony, we are looking at my favorite Pokemon, or one of my favorites, Porygon to Incineroar, Ursaluna, definitely top 10 for me, Amoonguss, Goldango, and Annihilate. Solo Annihilate, no Mousehold here, but that's okay.
So a team that, again, I associate with him. Apparently it was not built entirely by him. But Anthony's flagship team at this point.
Yes, of course.
You know, Trick Room that can function without Trick Room.
Of course.
That Scarf Annihilate being a very, very cornerstone part of the team. With that Scarf Final Gamut, able to just throw out one-hit KOs.
One-hit
on
knockouts for
anything that doesn't have as much HP as it, like Amoonguss or Ursaluna perhaps. But everything else, probably getting knocked down.
Absolutely. And of course, if you really are in a pinch, you could always go for something cheeky, like a Choice Scarf Coaching for that extra defense, extra boost in attack. And of course, Ursaluna, one of the strongest Pokemon in the current meta game, hitting like a truck, especially when you got it backed up in terms of Trick Room. It's a solid core for sure. Let's see how these combatants shake it out. Let's get into it.
Let me tell you, when it comes to that Ursaluna, unlike its Blood Moon counterpart, it uses all four of those legs when it attacks.
Oh, yeah.
It hits hard. Yes, Blood Moon hits really hard, but nothing hits like that Flame Orb Guts boosted Facade does.
Absolutely. They put their whole weight and soul into that Facade, especially when they're on fire, feeling that willpower coming into play for sure.
Absolutely. So we are going to see the leads here of Incineroar and Goldengo for Anthony's side, and Pelipper and Basculegion on Chase's side. So right away, yes, we have the Intimidate on this Basculegion, but Anthony's Incineroar not looking to want to stay in, probably just wanting to hard switch out into something that can better weather these offenses, and also probably going to want to tear that Goldengo to that Dragon typing to resist some water type damage that could go into it.
Absolutely. I think that's a solid idea. Trying to make sure you might get as much damage from this behemoth of a fish as much as possible, especially since it hits so hard. And of course, you know, we do have the Incineroar in there dropping that attack stat, of course, just very nicely, making it a little bit more manageable, just a little bit more demure, if you will. Let me stop. But okay, going for the flip turn here. Interesting play. We're going to do a lot if this Terra isn't on the cat on the other side of the field, which it is. So it won't be doing too crazy as much damage as we see the grass Terra coming into play. But we will see a flip turn coming out regardless and allowing a switch in. But I wonder what that switch in is going to be. No active switches from Anthony means we can actually kind of put something in that's better suited to fight against these two, or at least resist, which could possibly be your own cat.
Yeah, so Incineroar, a great switch in here. Going to be able to soak up the damage from this Goldengo, while Chase might have gone for a sort of pin on the Terra Incineroar, maybe going for a Hurricane here. But no, we actually see a very fast knockoff from this Incineroar into the Pelipper, knocking off its Focus Sash, and Shadow Ball going to follow that up. Going to be the KO here. Pelipper moving after Incineroar and Goldengo.
No.
And Incineroar moving before Goldengo.
Yeah, that very, very interesting turns of events here. But I gotta wonder, is it really wise? Yes, you get the knockout on this Pelipper, but now Basculegion comes right back in, and it's definitely still threatening, especially now that you didn't go for the Dragon typing on this Goldango. You have this Grass type in play here, yes, but not something that is getting away scot-free. Of course, you do have access to that Flare Blitz into that slot. Well, I guess there is still rain in play, so it's not going to be that crazy of a Flare Blitz into the slot, but...
Yeah, the Terra Grass on Incineroar, definitely a great play. I know I mentioned the Terra Dragon on the Golden Go. Neglected to look at the Incineroar's Terra type, and Grass is just a great call for it. Fake out, going into that Incineroar, and a Swift Swim, Choice Band, or Wave Crash, gonna threaten a huge KO on that Golden Go. So, great plays by Chase. Obviously,
Absolutely.
Anthony
Absolutely.
calling them out just right. But overall, the momentum from that turn one, insanely in Anthony's favor.
Yes. You know, I do got to say, I like that turn, especially for Anthony, because now that's one less turn of rain that we have to deal with. Slowly but surely, that speed on this Basculegion will disappear overall without that rain present. But Amoonguss coming in, I like this switch in. It does resist a ton of the attacks coming into it. It will take that and lose its Citrus Berry, unfortunately, but it's not without, you know, its powerhouse effects. Of course, it still has regen. Ooh, that was a lot of damage. Okay,
Yeah.
knockoff coming into Gholdengo. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow, I thought that was over for a second there.
Yeah, that's 998 coins knocked out of a Golden Go, but that one coin is still remaining for it. It may not have its life orb, but it still has its game life on the line. It can switch out here if it wants. It can just go for Shadow Ball if it wants. This Incineroar on Chase's field is applying a lot of defensive pressure, I would say, into the Incineroar and Golden Go, but not much else. Yes, it went for that knockoff, but now it's just kind of there, and whatever's next to it has to get KO'd, as Porygon 2 is going to come in for Anthony.
Oh, this could be a nice segue into an Ursaluna in the back, being able to set up something like a Trick Room maybe. Now that we're going to neutralize the Amoonguss menace, it is looking like a pretty clear endgame here for Anthony.
Yeah, so we do see the parting shot from Incineroar, going to be able to reset its Intimidate, but more importantly, its Fake Out here, as Porygon 2 is going to go down to -1. I did not catch the download boost that the Porygon 2 got, unfortunately, so I'm not sure if it's at -1 special attack or neutral from that. Basculegion now out of rain, not able to do nearly as much damage.
Right.
Oh, my apologies. I did not see the rain. I do believe I see it
Yeah, the rain
now,
is still in play. Still in
although
play.
it might end this turn if my counting has been correct, or rather, just my intuition. I'm wrong. So we do see the Porygon 2's boost was that special attack, as it is now -2 attack. Not that relevant. And neutral on the special attack. Incineroar here, again, applying good defensive pressure, and also the pressure that it needs on Golden Go. But Basculegion, I'm not sure about my Basculegion calcs, but in rain, might be able to get the one-hit KO on Porygon 2 if it's not for the Incineroar that can just switch in its place with that Terra Grass.
Oh, and it is coming, that Incineroar, of course, the Terra Grass. It will now take some key resistances. A little bit of a bait and switch situation here. Throwing something, oh yeah, you like that, it's quite juicy. You gotta go, no, not today. I'm going to go ahead and switch out. Protect on the Gholdengo will mean it's going to be going forward into the next turn as well. Wave Crash not going to do anything to this Grass Terra. Cat over the other side. Oh, I lied. It did something. It did a lot of something. But hey, it's still on the board. Okay.
So rain finally over. We have to see the interaction between this Basculegion speed and the Golden Go speed. We know the Golden Go is actually slower than Anthony's own Incineroar.
Oh, this fake out. Not
So
going
if
for Aqua-Jet.
Basculegion is faster, going to be able to take out this Golden Go here. A big problem for Chase in this game. Just let it get away with a lot of damage. Got Amoonguss off the field, got Pelipper off the field, got a lot of damage out. And now it's Incineroar and Basculegion at -1 against a Porygon 2 at full HP, mind you.
Full
And an
HP.
Incineroar that's low, but the big thing here is Porygon 2 could easily just get a Trick Room up here, and an Ursaluna in back could sweep this game.
Yes, I'm not liking this situation at all. If anything, maybe you just don't get the KO doubling into Porygon 2 here either, so it's not looking really good for Chase, I gotta say. But if there's a will, there's a way. We will see very shortly what comes down from this turn, as Incineroar on Chase's side now goes for the Terra Ghost typing here. Gonna utilize this defensively at least a little bit. I'm scared of a knockoff, though. I'm not going to lie to you. But here comes the
So,
wave crash.
yeah, Chase is down but not out. I honestly expected the wave crash into the Incineroar here to get it off the field. But that knockoff is going to take out
my
Basket Legion.
goodness.
And what I initially at the beginning of the turn was about to say, Chase was down but not out, looks like he might just be out
Down.
of this one. As knockoff goes into the Incineroar, Chase recognizing that this Incineroar is faster than his own. It looks like a max speed Incineroar, if I had to be honest. But that Terra Ghost, very, very smart, not going to be affected by Facade, not going to be super effectively affected by Headlong Rush, and not even going to be able to be hit by Terra Blast from Porygon 2. Ice Beam is going to be the only thing that it can use. Had the Basket Legion gone into Incineroar here, and maybe a knockoff went into the Porygon 2 slot, I think maybe this game was able
Doable?
to be... Maybe. It would have come down to Ursaluna, in back, just going for a Protect, getting the Flame Orb, and then probably Headlong rushing into the Basket Legion on the next turn, then Headlong rushing the Incineroar, while it would be a balancing act of can you KO Porygon 2 in time, while also KOing Ursaluna in time. I think Anthony, from the get-go, was in the driver's seat, and Chase was constantly clawing his way back up, almost got to the tip of that... edge of that cliff, and Anthony said, "Long live the king," and dropped him right off. Didn't allow him to climb up over that hump.
Sorry, Simba.
Yeah, but we are going to see a reset here. We'll see what Chase can do to answer Anthony's strong offensive pressure. As we said, that Golden Go was a big threat. Incineroar was a much bigger offensive threat than we thought.
Yes.
I kept highlighting that Chase's Incineroar was more of a defensive role, where it wasn't offering that much damage up. Yeah, it did some eventually into the Golden Go, but Anthony using his extremely offensively, that fast Assault Vest Incineroar being able to knock off a Pelipper before it's able to move, get that Shadow Ball off with Golden Go, and not let Pelipper do anything that entire game, which Chase's whole team revolves around that, not the Pelipper doing damage but existing. Exactly. It needs to exist.
Exactly.
It needs to get up some damage. It needs to let the rain go up. And Chase, notably not using Archaludon there. He did go for the Basket Legion, but I think now with the Intimidate being able to be cycled, I think he has to go with a more special approach with Archaludon, and that's just what he's going to do.
And now we do see them entering this stage here. Going to go ahead and set up this Drizzle. Intimidate not really being anything of a situation here for Chase because none of these Pokemon are attacking on the physical side. They're doing perfectly fine under the intimidation. They're going to just bear through that fear and start clicking some of these attacks. Now, I do like this decision of the early defensive play with Pelipper, but now what are we going to do with this Archaludon? And are we reading an early game Protect? There might maybe be a fake out into this slot. Trying to go ahead and predict a defensive play from Pelipper, but I'm not sure. Maybe I would say it's safe to go for a Pelipper with a fake out, of course. But knockoff coming off. Okay, that was a great read. Not going to even try to deal with that Pelipper and its Protect here. Oh, wait, it didn't click Protect.
No, it did not. So Chase originally hovering over that Protect decides not to go for it, saying, Anthony, you went for it last time, buddy. You're not doing it again.
That's true.
You're not doing it again. As the knockoff actually goes into the Archaludon, and without the Assault Vest, Shadow Ball's still not enough, as this Archaludon's Electro Shot, uncontested by any other weather, is going to be going right into that Golden Go. Such a problem for him in that first game. Is going to take it below half, and that Weather Ball is going to go into Incineroar. Will that Assault Vest save it?
No.
Yes, it will.
It did. Wow. Under this water, too. The rain. Oh, just none of that. Okay. Wow. That's all Pokemon. Despite that fact, it does a ton of damage like it did in the last couple of games. But Assault Vest is giving it that longevity, just enough to survive that attack. And now in a pretty good spot. Anthony is on the lower end. Both Pokemon are just low on HP, but Pelipper, let's be honest, it's always going to be a 2-hit KO anyway because of that Focus Sash. But not going for Protect there. Very interesting. No Fake Out either. This is why Fake Out's one of the best moves in the game. You could have avoided that entire situation.
So now I think the question for Anthony is, will a Make It Rain get a KO into Pelipper? Doesn't even go for it, just goes for the Shadow Ball into Archaludon and knocks off the Focus Sash from Pelipper. More importantly, just getting some big damage off.
Yeah.
And we are going to see Gholdengo going down to this Weather Ball here, as Incineroar, still the fastest thing on the field, which is a crazy thing to say.
Can you say that again for a record?
Incineroar, the fastest thing on the field, and looking at Chase's last 2 Pokemon, the fastest thing in the game.
Oh my gosh, dude. His name might as well be Barry Allen because he's looking fast, boy.
Porygon 2 coming in here. We'll see what download boost it gets. And by we'll see, I mean it's getting a special attack boost. Pelipper, known for its defensive prowess, not its special defensive. Intimidate coming out here onto the Incineroar, which is nice. A special attack boost for Porygon 2. And this is looking like more of a repeat of Game 1, where it's going to be hard for Chase to position in a way to stop this Ursaluna, possibly.
Absolutely. It is going to be difficult, but there is an Amoonguss in the back. That's one Pokemon notorious for thwarting the evil deeds of Trick Room and Trick Room player enthusiasts. But now we do see this Incineroar coming back out for a rainy day. You see what I did there? But now bringing in, of course, the Ursaluna. And it's going to be a Trick Room play, I believe. That's the only way that this play makes perfect sense. But there's not many ways for you to stop this Trick Room. Okay, there goes Amoonguss. Knockout going into Ursaluna. That's pretty good. Wait,
that's
huge. Pretty good. Now, no Flame Room will activate. Excuse me, Flame Room. Flame Orb won't activate, which means Trick Room is not going to be as devastating. And, of course, we can now start putting things to sleep. That's my favorite part. And already this is looking like a very big improvement upon that Game 1 from Chase here. And I got to say, I like what I see.
Yeah. So Anthony maybe jumping the gun a bit by bringing that Ursaluna in. Maybe should have just let Incineroar stay on the field, get off one last attack, get KO'd as Trick Room went up.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Getting ahead of himself. You know, had that been a Weather Ball into that slot, there would be no Ursaluna. With the knockoff into the slot, there might not as well not be an Ursaluna. It's status now. But Guts doesn't care about sleep because you ain't attacking when you're sleeping.
That's true. You're not doing much of anything but sleeping.
Not only that, but I don't remember if Guts is activated by sleep. One of Facade and one of Guts is not affected by sleep. I know that.
You know, it'd be really interesting if it was.
One exclusively says burned, poisoned, or paralyzed, not statused in any way.
Correct.
And I believe it's Facade.
I do believe it is Facade.
So even if this Ursaluna had Sleep Talk, would be boosted by Guts, Facade would not get the boost, though.
No. It would be pretty funny to see, though, just for these kinds of situations, running the Snore to sleep.
So right here now, we are in a position where Chase is looking to be – it's his game to lose right now. You know, Ursaluna's a sitting bear. Incineroar is in the back with a sliver of HP left, and big Amoonguss is on the field now.
Yeah, Amoonguss
able
definitely.
to spread those spores, able to get off Pollen Puffs, can switch out to restore its HP.
Oh, man.
We got 2 sleeping Pokemon on Anthony's side, and there is a chance that Ursaluna actually wakes up this turn, and it does.
Okay.
And it is going to get the Facade off into the Amoonguss, but with no Flame Orb, with no Guts, not doing a ton of damage, as another knockoff into the Ursaluna is not going to do nearly enough damage. Amoonguss now free to go for another Spore. Had that Ursaluna gone for Substitute on this turn, however, I think that would have been a very good call for Anthony. Wouldn't have been affected by Spore, probably wouldn't have had its Substitute broken by anything that Incineroar wanted to do unless it went for Flare Blitz, but that's going to go after the Amoonguss. So would have been able to get another attack off had that Substitute gone up. Amoonguss going for that Spore into the Ursaluna, though.
Okay, this is just a very interesting situation. Reading that protect, gonna go ahead and finish off the Incineroar before it becomes a situation of it waking up again. I definitely like that choice. Incoming will be that Porygon. And like I've said it before in the former matches, Amoonguss is a 3-time World Championship Pokemon,
it
man.
sure is.
It's just good, man. It does
is
everything, man.
One of the winningest Pokemon of all time.
All time.
Incineroar, pretty close by, hasn't had the amount of time that Amoonguss has.
Yes.
By a good 7 years or
8
so.
years or so.
And I think one of those years it didn't even have Intimidate. All of 2017 it didn't have Intimidate.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
From 2011 until 2017 seasons, this Incineroar was not effectively there. Ursaluna going back to sleep. We can hardly see that Porygon 2 behind the Ghost. But I think Ursaluna, I was talking too much to notice. I think the one chance that Anthony had to get back into this was getting a double protect with Ursaluna, preventing that Spore, and getting that Ice Beam KO here. But we aren't going to see that happen. As parting shot, a wonderful, wonderful play by Chase here. Not
like
getting ahead of
that.
himself and going for something like a
like
knockoff
that.
into Porygon 2. Resetting not only Intimidate, but Fake Out crucially, and getting the Pelipper on the field to set the rain. It was going to come in for the KO to Mungus anyways, but more importantly, it's, Incineroar being able to hit the field again is what's really, really important.
Yeah.
Very, very heads-up play by Chase.
That was so nice. That was so nice. That's just perfect play, pivoting into the right scenario so the partners are just in the prime position to take this win. I don't see this going out of Chase's hands at all at this point, especially after those drops to attack on this Ursaluna. It has no guts activated. It has just a very sad 70 base power facade. It has nothing. And, of course, the debuff demerits. Fake Out, of course, coming into play here, too. It's just too much to bear. And too much to bear.
The bear had too much to bear. Porygon 2 flinching here to that Fake Out, and this is all but over. Chase can go for the knockoff on Porygon 2 here. No boost to that special attack. There is one possible way out, and that's a Terra Blast into the Pelipper, getting the knockout, and then freezing Incineroar for a good amount of time. But Flare Blitz is just going to be able to thaw Incineroar. And with a knockoff on Porygon 2, it's going to have its... all of its bulk is gone.
All of its bulk is gone. It's nothing. Hey, you know what? That's a game 2 situation.
Yep.
Chase taking a dub, so we're going to see a true final showdown with game 3 on the horizon. Chase masterfully making the adjustments needed to counteract Anthony's strategy to perfection. I definitely love all the choices that were made in this match. I love the Pokemon that were brought in for this match as well. I think Arcaludon with Pelipper lead was pristine lead situation here. Amoonguss in the back, perfect. Incineroar. Look,
Yep.
one of the best Pokemon in the business, dude.
Probably the
Like,
best
for
ever,
sure. Oh my gosh. It also does everything. That was just the perfect 4 Pokemon.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm playing as Chase, I'm doing it again. What do you think?
I think Chase made perfect adaptations. I talked about it before the match happened. I said he needs to make that switch to Archaludon, get those special attacks off instead of relying on Basculegion's physical offense because of the Intimidate from Incineroar.
Yeah.
Has to take out Gholdengo fast because that is the
Yeah.
key Pokemon that offensively was able to break him, and he did that. He did that right away. And now Anthony's going to have to find ways to preserve that Gholdengo or switch up his offense in order to do that. But
Yes.
Anthony doesn't have a ton of offense. He could use that Annihilate and maybe go for something like a Final Gambit, but I don't think that gains him a lot of headway.
Not a lot of momentum
Could
at all.
use his own Amoonguss to protect his Ursaluna. I don't know. He has to get this Gholdengo into a better spot. He used his Incineroar just as well as he did the first time. Chase didn't go play into the same turn 1 play that Anthony went for in game 1, and Anthony didn't make that game 1 play in game 2. So will he make it in game 3?
The mind games are always plentiful when it comes to these kinds of situations, especially since it's a 2 out of 3 match. It gives you a lot of time to think and adjust. maybe make a soul read on your opponent, if anything, too. Anyway, here comes the two Pokemon coming in. It's a Mungus and Goldengo. What a departure. And Bascule Legion coming back into play. Okay, these are some interesting choices. Now, Hurricane looking like a very nice choice into this Amoonguss. Of course, it's probably not going to get the one-hit knockout on this thing, but a double up, maybe it's doable. Maybe, or you can get the crit. Or you could get the confusion and it hits itself. There's just so much going on. I don't think this Amoonguss has Protect.
Endless.
Oh, man. Okay, Amoonguss does have Protect here on Chase's side. Oh, but does Anthony's have Protect? Oh, there's no Protect on that Amoonguss on Anthony's side. Okay, so that means this Hurricane could just do a lot of damage. I mean, obviously, you might want to switch that out if you want to keep your Amoonguss in for the long game, but...
And I didn't realize that this Bascule Legion is Terra Grass, meaning it can just ignore Amoonguss if it chooses to. Had it been something like Terra Water, Chase would be in a situation where he kind of has to take out this Amoonguss immediately with something like a Hurricane and a Wave Crash. And if it goes for the Terra, you know, Wave Crash is going to pick up that KO. If it doesn't, Hurricane's going to pick up that KO. But Goldengo would have been free to do whatever it wanted, as we are going to see the Terra Grass on the Bascule Legion no longer going to be as damaged by Shadow Ball. But we do see the Terra Electric on the Amoonguss here. Excellent. If this isn't a Rage Powder and this is a potential Spore, that's going to send him back. Or even if it's a Rage Powder, this is a Terra Grass Bascule. No, it's not. I thought I saw the Terra Grass go off. It's not. Flip Turn is going to go into the Amoonguss.
Yes,
over half
crucial.
of its HP.
Crucial.
And Incineroar is now on the field to soak up hits from that Goldengo, as Pelipper could just come back in here. Unless Amoonguss wants to come in, soak up a hit, maybe get it Citrus Berry. A lot of options here, as we are going to see what this Goldengo goes for. If it just goes for a nasty plot here, that could be terrifying.
Whoa. Okay, now this is prime time for Anthony here. Now, heads up play, going for the Terra Electric on a predicted Hurricane. Chase, making sure he doesn't fall into that trap, ended up switching out the Pelipper, rightfully so. Brought in Incineroar to try to soak up and make it rain if it would be coming out. But it was even further planned ahead because Anthony, with the nasty plot on this, really, he went for the double. This man's a criminal. Hold on. He's trying to do it. He's trying to win the game, bro.
We're going to see. I want to see a Spore into this. Is there going to be a Spore? There's a Spore in here, Ursaluna!
Here. Oh, man. Okay, but we have a +4 Goldengo here facing down two defensive behemoths. That's safety goggles. That's not an assault vest. Is Incineroar going to be able to take a +4, make it rain? I know it's a spread move.
Dude, it's the GOAT. Yes, you can take it.
Yeah, okay. But then what is Amoonguss going to do? What attack does Amoonguss have here on Chase's side?
Protect.
Yo, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any attacking moves at all. This is really good for you. You could just Shadow Ball and nuclear option this Incineroar into the oblivion. Hold on, dude. This is not a good spot for this Amoonguss all of a sudden.
Yeah, so Anthony with Life Orb knocked off isn't going to KO himself. So a Make It Rain here is going to pick up a KO on that Amoonguss and take Incineroar to very, very low HP. Is not going to self-KO itself again because of that knocked off Life Orb. But Chase could knock off the Flame Orb on Ursaluna. If it is to wake up, we'll never get that Flame Orb back.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Absolutely is, Naeem. Want to know why? Because there's a fish in the back.
There's a
and it can swiftly swim.
Oh, it is fast indeed, and there is nothing to stop it from doing what it does because rain is in fact at play at this moment. And of course, there's no weather changing effects on the opposite side of the field. So that means this Bascule Legion is going to be speedily swimming through this rainfall and getting that knockout on Goldengo. So your +4 amounted to a whole lot of not much.
Yeah, and there's a few moves Chase could make here. Does he want to lock into Wave Crash and just throw out damage to anything that could switch in? Does he want to go for the Flip Turn into the Goldengo, get the KO, get his Pelipper in, and get Bascule Legion back in? Well, he also can get Incineroar out with a Parting Shot and then get Bascule Legion back in. He can double switch here. But, Goldengo smartly just going to go for a Protect here, wants to solo out the Rain, maybe force Pelipper back in. Wave Crash is going to go into the Goldengo slot. And we are going to see Incineroar likely going for a Parting Shot here to bring that Pelipper back in. get that Ursaluna down to -1, so a Headlong Rush likely will not KO without the critical hit that hopefully I don't speak into existence. I never want critical hits to decide the game. Pelipper going to come back in here with a fresh Focus Sash.
Okay, now this is a game. Oh, Chase playing out of his mind here. Ursula not waking up, not feeling that fire, especially since it's been knocked out of him. And now we're in a very prime situation to weather ball into this Ursaluna who cannot defend themselves. And of course, Goldango, who had already gone for a protect. But how many turns are even left for this rain? I gotta find out because Pelipper is in play now. That doesn't mean it won't be able to reset immediately if rain goes down now. But I still think there's like at least 2 more turns of rain. There goes the wave crash and Goldango, and there it goes down. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, I don't think Anthony had a way out of this turn without losing 2 Pokemon. Amoonguss could have come in for one of these Pokemon and likely would have been KO'd. Maybe it could have come in for that Ursaluna, but they're just taking free damage. And Ursaluna, what is it switching out for? Not much. As Anthony likely only has some passive Pokemon in the back here if history repeats itself with the Terra Electric Amoonguss and the Porygon 2. Yes, it is. And we have so much offense from Chase's side with those unresisted water attacks now that Amoonguss has terrestrialized. And I believe rain did just end, if my eyes are not deceiving me, although they very well could be.
Nope, rain ended.
So, you know, not a lot of room for for Anthony to win here.
Nah, it's looking pretty slim. Porygon did get a special attack boost, but is it really going to be an offensive threat despite that? Both of these Pokemon are slower than that Basculegion. Basculegion maybe admittedly not going to do a whole lot of damage to an Amoonguss, but you can always... Oh, wait, no, that's an electric type Amoonguss. That's not grass type. These are not resisted hits no more. It's free eats, cuz. We about to take that 100% every time.
So Chase making a very interesting play here, knowing that rain is down, my Weather Ball is no longer boosted, my Wave Crash is no longer boosted, and I need to get this Amoonguss off the field ASAP. I cannot let it get my Pokemon to sleep, so I can't risk switching out here and not picking up a KO. Very smart. That Wave Crash is going to do plenty. Didn't need the Terra Stellar, but didn't want to play any games with the potential that it might not. As a super strong 50 base power Terrastal boosted, so it's 60 base power, and then Terra Stellar boosted. Normal, not boosted at all.
Weather Ball
takes out the Amoonguss.
Cast form would be proud.
And now Porygon 2 is the hero of our story. Trick Room going up here has to battle out against a Basculegion, which is immune to Terra Blast, is not very affected by the Ice Beams, would have to get a freeze here. Incineroar and back, able to do a lot in terms of faking it out, going for knockoff, going for parting shots, and Pelipper able to switch out and just get that rain back up so Basculegion can do so much damage. It's almost definitely unwinnable for Anthony, but there's always...
Oh, hold on.
The slimmest of odds.
Hold on.
Oh my god.
No way.
The freeze-to-thaw combo was true here. And with doing more than 50% here...
No way, you just froze it and froze in the same turn. No, you know what? GG's, bro. You got it. I'm like, you got it, bro. I don't even want to talk to you no more. Shake my hand, brother.
Most decks do well in the rain. They love playing in the water. But this Porygon 2, unfortunately, is not the drinking bird that it thinks it is. As Chase is going to seal this up over Anthony and win the League Cup here at Balance Patch in Boston.
What a tough match that was, going all the way to Game 3. It was impactful, inspiring, and emotional, but we are here now, and the winner has been chosen. Chase played out of their mind, played well all day today, and they're going to take their dub rightfully so.
Yeah.
That concludes this tournament. I do believe we will be doing a player interview momentarily.
If Chase wants to take a winner's interview,
if they want to take a winner's interview, we'll see very shortly. Do we have a winner's interview for Chase here?
Chase, you want to do a winner's interview?
All right. That's going to be it for me then, ladies and gents. This has been Soul X Cross. And now for the winner's interview.
All right. Foremost, congrats on the win here at the Cup Chase.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Shout out to Marshtomp.
Yeah, huge shout out Marshtomp. Couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah, that was a really, really great final set to watch. I know I watched Gdansk finals this morning, so I saw something similar win there, and it just proved its power here, far away, but similar team comp. Did you take any inspiration from that? I know it's not the same six by any means, or have you just been rocking Rain and that's been what's speaking to you?
Well, I was huge on the self-proc that Fede Campo won with. This team doesn't have that, obviously, but before this, I had been playing self-proc and really liked it. I didn't really have a team for Louisville Regionals, so I went there with a team that Zach Weed actually made. But that was like the worst prep I've ever had for regional. And then after that, I play best when I have a lot of reps with teams. And this team has been doing really consistently these six. There's a lot of players in Europe, or a few players in Europe that have done really well with it. Marco Silva, he actually mentioned this was the six that he brought. And then there was another player, Max Waterman, he got top 8 at Lille, and then top 16, lost to Michael Kelsch in Gdansk. And I've actually talked to him about the lines for this team. There's a few things different, but for the most part, I'd say Max Waterman's team is the team I've taken the most inspiration from. And yeah, I'm pretty happy to win this. I won the last cup here, so it's kind of cool to go back-to-back. And I played a lot of good players. I thought I was going to get smoked by Big Tone after he won the game one. It was a really tough matchup, but he played incredibly well. So I'm happy to pull it off.
Walk me through, because I had my own analysis, of course. Walk me through your adaptations after game one.
Yeah, after game one, normally I always bring a steel type. Like in top 4, I think I was bringing both my steel types. So I think game one I didn't bring either. And after losing, I thought he played really well. He actually kind of left his Golden Go open because he ended up Terra grass on the Incin, and I was not expecting that at all.
It let Golden Go do a lot of work.
Yeah,
and
it did
do a lot of work.
Yeah, I was not expecting the Terra grass at all. And then, so I thought game one kind of went pretty poorly. I knew I needed to bring Incin Amoonguss. I thought just because when we get into Trick Room, they're just so helpful. The knockoffs obviously was so helpful in both games. The Spore helped me a ton. So those were my big adjustments as well. I thought Arcaludon would be a little bit better, but his Pokemon were so fast.
Yes.
Like I should have known that because I've talked to him about this team, and I think I have his Pokeface actually. So I probably should have thought of that, but it's late here. But yeah, I was really not expecting that. Like especially the Incin to outspeed my Arcaludon. I wasn't expecting that, which I definitely should have.
And outspeeding his own Golden Go too.
Yeah, which was really really crazy, obviously. So
as someone that's not in the know of the team, and of course I have all the stats here, but I'm not factoring them in. I'm looking at the moves. I was shocked to see it. What was your reaction when you turn 1 game 1 you lost Pelipper?
Yeah. I figured he could probably do that. He obviously could have faked it out. I mean, Pelipper it's obviously important, but there's no Weather War, so I kind of know I have the weather, and then I can get a free switch if he does KO it. I just don't think I had the Mons in the back to do well enough, especially when he got that, and then my flip term didn't do anything for me, so I think game 1 kind of just got away from me.
Yeah. I mean, game 2 you made great adjustments. You said, I'm going to leave Basculegion at home. Incineroar's cycling with Intimidate and the Terra didn't really allow Basculegion to do great work. Archaludon was able to cover for it, and you took out Golden Go early, which was super important. It was something that did put on way too much offensive pressure to you. But there were also really crucial turns where you caught Ursaluna on the switch-in, and I'm sure you were feeling really good about that. My biggest question is, after that game 2 where you brought Archaludon, what was the idea to switch back to Basculegion as your Rain Pokemon?
I ended up bringing it back because, one, I thought he might adjust, which he did end up doing.
Yes.
And then also, I thought that I could play, if he did lead those same 2, I thought I could play it better than I did in game 1.
Absolutely.
So I was kind of like, that was kind of my thought process there, where I like Basculegion in front. I know it's going to be the fastest thing. I know it can do a crazy amount of damage. I know it can't get faked out. I can flip turn if I need to, or I can just go for the wave crash or whatnot. So that's kind of was my thought process there.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. You know, if I can break that down, it's game 2 you made an adjustment to beat that lead, and then game 3 you said, okay, I now know how to beat that lead and play better than I did game 1. Let me run it again. I think it's actually the right.
Yeah, and the Terra Electric, I think I think it was game 3 where I ended up sporing when he
Yep.
switched out Amoonguss.
One of my favorite things to do.
I was honestly just gonna spore the Amoonguss, yeah.
Yeah.
And so when he switched on the Ursaluna, I was like, okay, this is great.
Yep.
And then I was able to get the knockoff off. When he went for 2 nasty pots, I was like, oh boy, this is gonna get out of control. And then he barely lived in the first knockoff, I think it was. So yeah, it was really close. And then I didn't want to switch in either of my mons at the make it rain, the +3, +4 make it rain.
+4, and then it went down to
Yeah, and I didn't want to protect my Amoonguss because I thought the free switching was better than pot.
Yeah.
And I knew I was hoping my Inzim would live. I figured it would live either of those attacks pretty easily. So I was kind of just decided to let it go down, and then getting the knockoff into the other slot I thought was worth it, and then getting the free switch in. I knew my Basket Legion from the previous games was going to be faster than the Golden Ghost, so no matter what I could. And I knew I still had Terra, so even if he did back out the Amoonguss, I knew no matter what. I could target the Golden Ghost slot and he wouldn't get any more attacks off of that.
Yeah, it's always tough to win when you're down a game, especially in finals, but I think you really played well, maintaining mental composure, making adjustments in game 2, and then returning to form in game 3 and just analyzing the board state and really ripping through that team. I think you played really
I
well.
appreciate that.
And it was a great showcase
Thank
of
you so much.
how you can make adjustments when you're down a game and not crack under pressure. So props to you, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm props to Big Tone and all my opponents today. He's been on an absolute tear.
Yeah.
He cut Louisville with this team, so he has a lot of experience with this team. And I think this is the first time we've ever played in finals, and we're good friends. So it was really fun to play against him, and congrats to him as well.
Yeah, great words. Thanks for coming. Congrats on the win again.
Thank you.
Hopefully, it keeps going. I know that your team box name was LAIC, so
Yeah. This was kind of my test for if I thought I'd stick with these 6 for LAC or not. I still might make some changes.
might be a bit more of a target on its back after Gdansk.
Yeah, I think this. I don't know. Yeah, I think Rain will be. I think it's always been respected, but I think, I think maybe a bit more of a target. I think Fede Campos' team might have a big target, but I actually really do like Fede Campos' team, so I might try to incorporate some of that back in. But we'll see what happens. But yeah,
Gotta learn from the best. If you can't beat 'em,
absolutely,
join 'em.
absolutely.
Alrighty. Thank you guys for joining us here at Balance Patch. Congrats again to Chase, and we'll be back next time.
Thank you. Love you all.